Welcome back to SRG Insights, where we answer your questions about sales, sales management, and sales training. And today's question is...
Morgan Pierce, Senior Director of Product Marketing at Altify, asks, how do you motivate your team to win?
You know, that's a great question. And I think when I reflect on the best managers that I've worked with, they're the ones that can motivate and influence their team. But I think there's a misconception out there that to motivate or influence your team, you've got to be this great charismatic leader. And while that certainly doesn't hurt, I think the more important quality, and certainly the much more scalable quality, is managers that really care about their teams and take the time to really understand what's important to each member of their team. So, there's two typical problems that we see. One is the manager falsely assumes that whatever is going to motivate him or her will also motivate their team. And sales teams are pretty diverse, and there's a number of different motivators that may be important to each individual. And as part of that, I think the other problem that we see is that there's this misconception about salespeople that it's all about money. While money is certainly important, there are certainly a number of other considerations. What we typically find is that motivations fall in one of the following 6 categories: money, opportunity, teamwork, independence, visibility, and excellence. Also, keep in mind that these motivations may change over time. For example, if someone's getting married or buying a new home, money may become more important for a period of time. And also, it's typically there's going to be one or more motivators. So what I'd like to do is just take a little bit of time talking about each of these and what you can do as a manager to support the individual's motive or motivations. So let's start with money. Money, or better said, what money can buy. So if you're trying to support someone who's really motivated by money, you want to be able to relate sales results to financial goals. Or you may even consider adding incentives for higher performance. For example, a higher commission rate for sales above quota. Opportunity. Typically, when someone talks about opportunity, they're thinking about career growth or advancement. So what you want to do to really support that type of motivation is really have some discussion around how success can lead to advancement. You may want to cite how that's occurred for others, or you may want to delegate responsibilities that help someone prepare for career advancement. For example, having them mentor a new salesperson. Teamwork. A lot of people are motivated by being a part of a team. Particularly that's true with millennials, and you see this whole concept of social networks. So you may want to ask them to lead a team project or provide some team recognition. For example, you may want to set up a team incentive if the team achieves a certain sales goal. Independence. A lot of people choose sales because they want to operate independently. And often we call this the lone wolf, where you have this feeling of empowerment and freedom. So I think there you support that motivation by providing greater autonomy. But one caution I would add there is you really need to make sure they're accountable. In other words, that autonomy is earned. Visibility. Not surprising, a lot of salespeople are motivated by recognition. So you want to make sure that they know and hear that their contributions to our success are appreciated and valued. If appropriate, you may want to share their accomplishments in a group setting, or maybe send an email and copy your own boss so they really understand that what they're doing is important. And excellence. There's a lot of people today who simply want to take pride in doing a great job. And I think you want to reinforce that by really complimenting them on the high quality of their work and what it means not only to you, but more importantly to your customers. So as we've discussed, there are a number of different motives that may be important to salespeople. That could be money, that could be teamwork, that could be opportunity, that could be visibility. And so the question that it begs is, well, how do you know? And guess what? It's really not that complicated. All you have to do is kind of observe them on a day-to-day basis and see what they're doing. And then start asking them, what do you like most about your job? By taking the time to observe the behaviors and have really genuine conversations, you're going to start to get an understanding of what's important to each person. And then based on that, you can start to develop customized plans where you really think about how you can reinforce and support their motivations.